Welcome back to week 9, and we are on to a new company called Ground Control for doing our last set of online instructional videos to be synopsized by me. And this is going to be a lot of fun. This guy's name is Casey Ferris, and let me just get this set up for us here. I built a special page called Ground Control. So this will be the format we do this in. You can see my shiny little face there. And more importantly, the keyboard, because throughout the course of us doing this one here, that's YouTube Editor's Master Training, and it's a really nice little thing here. We have it, he has it set up, excuse me, where we start off, we get through the basics, and I'll go through that in a minute, and then we go through some basic editing kind of refresher class, which is what I have done so far today. And so let's just jump into it. What the heck? So we talked about the welcoming thing here, and that's kind of what I'm doing now. Got my production project files all downloaded and ready to go. In fact, since we're on that topic, I'm going to follow along with all of his um, projects and get them as exact as I can, but I'm not going to use his methodology of doing it. He's just using a mouse and a keyboard. Any old mouse and any old keyboard will work. But the point of this is that we can come over here and we can use our fancy keyboard and learn how to do things in a more efficient and much easier way, quite frankly. So that's the name of that tune. That's the name of the game, is use the keyboard whenever possible. The next thing we got to do here is we got to update it. Says that they're still on 17, which isn't true. He's got everything updated and all the files are updated. But so is my program. That's easily done. Resolve tells you when it's time to download and actually gives you a choice. Doesn't just force anything on you. Then he talked about the basics of post production, which was the simple chat of from camera to final render and all of the steps in between. It was pretty simple and very basic. Too basic for us. And then the DaVinci Resolve installation is we're over here on the Blackmagic website under products, and we come across these two entries here. One's just DaVinci Resolve, and it's free, and the other one is DaVinci Resolve Studio, and it's $295 for the lifetime. Okay, so what's the difference? There's no watermarks, there's no time limit, there's nothing that would stop a guy from using this for the rest of his life, as long as you weren't like using cinema cameras or doing any fancy color correction or doing anything that required a lot of heavy rendering. This is just perfectly adequate and then some. Over here for Resolve Studio, there are some major differences in how it works, namely that it taps the video card in your computer and dragoons it into doing all of its rendering. And anytime there's calculations to be made throughout the fusion, throughout color correction, anything that uses a node in here uses computing power, and a lot of it, as just does any editing program. It's just the nature of the beast. But these guys figured out a way to get the video card involved too. As far as I know, nobody else does that, but I could be wrong. There's a whole bunch of other little treasure trove of goodies into extra special effects, more things that you can do in the fusion page, more things you can do in the color correction page, quite a few more things you can do in the Fairlight page. In fact, I have on my Mac Studio some additions that would not even run on a regular computer on the Fairlight page. Uh, Plugins made by a company called Crumple Pop that you set the level on it, for example, no matter what's happening in the background, music, whatever, it doesn't go over whatever level you want it to go over. It really takes the sting out of trying to decode being a sound engineer. And if you were a person that worked for, you know, worked for a television studio or something like that, and they had certain requirements of you, that would be one of the tools that you'd want to have. I wanted at this level, nothing more, nothing less. De-echo, DS, it's just some amazing stuff. And I do have the ability to screw around. I might make a video about that before the school year is over here. So the other couple things to look at. This is the keyboards that I use. This goes in with my laptop, which I happen to be working on now, and have where it's set up with a table and big color corrected monitors using this keyboard. The little keyboard just slips in my laptop bag. It's Bluetooth. You drop it out in front of you. I have another super thin little 20-inch monitor, so I have a mobile studio that a guy could get some real work done if you. Beauty is every time you buy any of this stuff from DaVinci, keyboard here, the keyboard here, I've got this is a color correction panel coming. You get a DaVinci Studio license, which covers 2 computers. So everything I've got for this, I didn't have to pay for this. I just got bought the keyboard because I knew that was going to be the right thing after doing my research on it, and I got the studio for free. And just sometimes things in life just work out for us. All right, enough of that. Where are we? Talking about project files, talking about updates, talking about post production. Did that. Resolve an installation, talked about that. It installs like every other program in the world. Now, click here, watch the unsatisfying blue line of progress. You know how it goes. Interfaces and editing, it basically just talks about the lower part of the Resolve page down here and how things are set up from media pool, cut page and editor to the Fusion to color correction to Fairlight to deliver, render. Everything has its point in place and is already kind of pre-lined up to drag you down the path of a good and reasonable workflow. Okay, so what's next here? Oops, sorry. Here. So that's that, and the preface on where we're going to go here is this whole program is about mixing good storytelling with turning somebody who already knows how to edit kind of into kind of a beginner courses, which is where we're at here. And things only take so long here because he tells you 3 ways to do them. We're not suffering from that because we're using the keyboard down here. So the initial pass, rough cut, refine things out, kind of think things through a little bit better than the final pass of title work and like that. So that's where we're going here next with everything. Hope you guys are ready to have some fun. I sure have been looking forward to this moment pretty much all semester here. At any rate, thanks a lot. We'll see you soon. And one last thing here. These classes are long. They're not the short little 5 or 10 minute classes that we've been doing in low post in the last few Udemy classes. These are half an hour plus long, and so a lot of the time here, I'm just going to go through and keep the camera rolling. And then when I'm doing the making of video at the end, while I'm putting the videos together of my synopsis and all the work that I've done, the making of video will show what all we've learned, what my work habits are like. And I know you like watching those, and I like making them. They're a lot of fun. So I hope that completes your request. There was one other request on there. Oh yes, the focus. I built myself a focus page here to see if I could dial things in a little bit better. I put a lot of light on the subject. That seemed to help a little better. I hope this is somewhat better, but these cameras, you can only do so much with them. And that when you have them on auto, they breathe. So I'd much rather be touch out of focus than the whole thing taking away from our experience. I like that. That's my special effect of the day right there. Okay, thanks a lot. We will see you in the next one. Bye bye. Okay, so we're back here at week 9s. I'm going to cut these up a little bit, but not much because I want to be able to show off some editing stuff. We're putting everything together, but like I said in the initial pass over here, you can see that this is 31 minutes, 21 seconds long. Excuse me. Every time I turn the camera on, I get the hiccups. Wonder what's up with that. So the first thing that we did was we were over here in uh, uh, media pool, and we went into the OBS file, and we got out all the stuff that we need to get out by clicking on that over work files, blog. And we drag all these down here to blog. Come over here to edit, and now we are have brought down from the media pool this clip here, blog 101, and we're just working with that one clip for right now. And he basically, without having to replay this a billion times for you, goes outside and says he wants some coffee beans and whatnot. I don't want to interrupt this with the sound of that. So I'm just going to show you the edits, and then we'll talk about the uh, how I did it, things here. I'm probably going to try to get through this because I have spent an hour just getting through 5 minutes of this and figuring out what kind of a workflow I could put together that would make this efficient to watch. So uh, he we're just going to come over here and hit the trim key for trim. You'll notice that lit up here. Touch the trim in key over here and just dial that right in to where he's talking and starts to talk. And then we're going to come over to here. Get as long of a tail on his eye as I can. We'll hit Control B, boom, and then we will hit trim out. Excuse me, trim in, and we're going to go over here to where he gets out of the truck, then starts to get back in. You'll see him set his camera up. There he goes and gets out. Now here's the beauty of the jog shuttle right here. This is something you can get correct. You're trying to do this with JKL. Go back and get this just right where you can build yourself as long of a handle as you can. It would be difficult. So the minute that door shuts, where I'm letting off of it, because that gives me the longest handle of things to play with. Okay, let's come over here. He gets in his truck, and there you go. Okay, so it looks like we got ourselves a ball game here. I'm going to pause this for a second and make sure that we're up to date and make sure that I understand everything is happening so I can show you better. Okay, so let's play this.
All the times to go to the store, you have to pick in the middle of a torrential downpour.
Okay, so what's the easiest way to do that? I'm going to hit the trim out button since we're already in trim mode, and I'm just going to reel this back in. Lock that back.
Times to go to the store, you have to pick in the middle of a torrential downpour.
All right, that's close now. All right, so the next thing it looks like he did was, let's swirl the media pool down a little bit. He started loading in. He loaded in everything but 103. So let's start bringing here. First off, let's do this. And I think what he did after that was he just highlighted everything, dragged the whole thing down. And because of the way it's worded on here, I think there is a thing up here. File name. So when you organize things by file name or clip name, excuse me, it's clip name. It looks like everything just went right into line and it was already there because that's how I was organizing my stuff earlier. So that makes total sense to me. I could see why you'd want to organize by some of these other stuff, maybe not so much all of it, date for sure, time for sure, be shot in order, but anyway, neither here nor there. So let's get the media pool out of the way here. And we only need the one thing because we're going to, all the rest of our editing is going to be done from here. And let's start by fixing this. Now, if when you come over here, you hit the A for normal or the normal selection mode, and we zoom in on this here, wherever it got to now. Well, there it is. Okay, so you can pop your mouse over this, right click on your mouse, excuse me, double click on your mouse. You see that gray area that came up here? Right click, ripple delete, boom, everything's said and done. So our next thing, we're getting out, getting in, playing with this camera here. So I think
This is day 3 with no coffee beans.
okay, so that's I think that there was a slick way of looking at these guys. Let's come up here and look at our timeline view options. We come down here to non-rectified waveform, and we just are now looking at just half the waveform. Let's get out of that. Maybe we can that'll help us make more sense. Hard to tell with a
This is day.
okay, so let's cut that one right there. We'll call that Control B. Boom, makes a cut. And we can do what? We can roll back on that, I believe. And we can do a couple things. We can just say ripple delete if we want to. Boom. Let's undo that here real quick. Control Z. Ripple delete on the keyboard. What was I thinking? What was I thinking? Keyboard. Keyboard. Oh my gosh. Okay, so moving right along.
In the world, but when you get up early,
you know, I think I've decided I'm going to make my own cut out of this. Deal. See how close to him I get.
This is the first chance I've gotten to get out of the house. Go do it. So I'm gonna do it.
All right, let's come back here a little bit.
Problem in the world, but when you get up early, you do creative stuff, it's kind of part of the whole deal.
I think that's that for me. Control B, boom, move over, ripple delete, and we're moving. I remember what happened here. Little extra handle on him. You know, we can also, we've always got our friend over here too. But we, in order to use him, let me just Control Z that. Uncontrol. We got to be in the trim mode. Blink trim mode here real quick so we can come over here to the end of this. Listen to it. Okay. So we got our head where we want it to be. Now we know where we're coming back to. Push down. We're in trim mode. We push down on the trim out key. Just roll that back, and that takes care of our ripple problems. And let's see where we're going next. Okay, so if I remember right, he showed his little thumbs up there. So let's okay. Those a thumbs up. Okay, let's leave that there. Moving right along. Okay, I think that's the right cut there. That's going to be a Control B. Boom. B for boom. Back over here to trim out. Or trim in, excuse me. Give it a second or two. Grabs it. Oh. Okay, here's that. Yeah, it's just confusing what he's done here. All right, let's start there. That's going to be the grabs his bag. All right, so I think the minute he looks at the camera, we're done. We're done. Yeah, once he's looking down there, that's where we want to be. Control B, we're done. All right, so that was it. Okay. Triple delete. See ya. That's the handiest button ever. All right, let's play this. See how it goes.
Yeah, buddy. We did it.
All right, let's get in on this later.
Yeah, buddy. We did it. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Okay, so I think it's right there. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. We did it.
And back to here.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. That probably is going to need a little trimming down later.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay, so same deal here, trimming in.
Coffee beans. Coffee beans.
Okay, so that's another bing. Moving right along here.
They're pretty good, and they're at this store that's close to me. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what. Coffee beans. Those aren't probably the very best coffee beans in the world, but they're pretty good, and they're at this store that's close to me. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing today. We don't have time for the single. We don't have time for the.
I don't remember what he did when he went there. I watched the other video several times, but go back here and orient myself here a little bit.
Yeah, buddy. Coffee beans. Best coffee beans in the world, but they're pretty good, and they're at this store that's close to me. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing today.
Okay, I'm just gonna get rid of this whole thing. It's just blathers. Oh, he's doing it. Yapping here. So highlight, triple delete, bye-bye. See ya. What do we got to go next? Yes, we got to come all the way out for this. So this is going to be a retime. I think he retimed this down into just a couple of seconds. So we come over here on our keyboard and we hit R retime. That's why. Duh. This will be one of those moments that I'll be editing out later when I trying to figure out how he was using retime so easily and I can't seem to do that. Retime curve. That'd be one way of doing it, but retime controls. There we go. That's what we're after. Retime controls. Wonder why that came up and didn't come up on the button. Back. So as you can see, you can just grab it by this tail, move it down here. Gonna see how that goes. We're just doing a little time compression here.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I think after that car, we're done. The whole time lapsing, if used too much, is tiresome. Yeah, that's too much. Okay, good enough. What's our trick over here? Give it a click, give it a right click, ripple delete, boom, done. So moving on here, let's see what we got over here. Playing with our camera, scratching our
So I've discovered that I'm probably an old man because
Okay. Once he discovers he's probably an old man, I think he talks about.
I'm probably an old man because I've recently just started drinking.
Here, let's start there. I've recently just started. Control B. Bingo, bango, bongo. No? Oh.
I've recently
Control B. Boom. Boom.
I've recently just started drinking coffee black, which I'm pretty sure makes you an old person. Because I always remember my grandpa just drinking coffee black. Grandma and grandpa, they don't care. They don't care if there's creamer. They don't care what. They just want their coffee. Don't care what kind of coffee it is. It could be Folgers. It could be.
Okay, so second he's done saying Folgers.
Care what. They just want their coffee. Don't care what kind of coffee it is. It could be Folgers. It could be.
Okay, so let's put a mark here. M for marker. So up here in the marker, can we remember? Okay, I think we're fine. Move on. So that's my.
It could be 2 months old. It doesn't matter. Coffee's coffee.
This is my reminder to go back and fix it later.
They could leave coffee in their mug and forget about it, and the entire day passes. Then 7 o'clock in the evening, they just put it in the microwave. That always blew my mind
Grandparents, you put it in the microwave.
until I became them. I microwave coffee too. I do. It's a crying shame.
Okay, I don't think we want the microwaving coffee diatribe, but let's go back here.
They could leave coffee in their mug.
No.
It could be 2 months old. It doesn't matter. Coffee's coffee.
Copy's copy. Right. So he doesn't open his mouth again for a minute. Two. He goes into the microwave diatribe. So let's give that a Control B, and then boom. Pull onto it.
It doesn't matter. Coffee's coffee.
Right, copy's copy. Okay, that was a little bit too long on the way out there. We got to be in the trim mode. Copy's copy.
It could be 2 months old. It doesn't matter. Coffee's coffee.
Okay, let's replace our marker here since I deleted it, but that will remind me that there's a space there. A for the pointer. Zoom in, double click, triple delete.
Mission accomplished.
There we go.
Mission accomplished.
Okay, so I'm going to lose the sigh.
Mission accomplished.
Keep that bit. I'm going to fill the middle bit here. Got a second. Because I think he does something special with that. But still. Okay, I think he just set this aside for B-roll for later. So let's grab that and just move it off here. This looks like a relatively decent first pass. I'm sure I've left something out. Oh yes, I did leave something out. There is the he put a drive to the store in here, if I remember. Driving. Then we're going to come over here and put that on that notch. Come up here, highlight log number 103. Come up here and hit the smart insert button. And then we're going to come over here and get the retime counts going. And that's Control R. Now that we remember what's going on. Now we're rolling. It's all starting to come back here. Haven't done this for a while. Dial that in nicely. Triple delete. I want to make these about the same size. So just kind of winging it here. Yeah, that looks about right. Hate to do all this mousing, but let's give it a playthrough here and see if we're too long. See how it goes.
It's kind of part of the whole deal.
Yeah, that's enough right there. I think so on this one too. Is pretty long. Sometimes having a brevity thing like this being actually brief, kind of a nice thing.
Creative stuff, it's kind of part of the whole deal.
Okay, that's it. Come up here and do the same thing. All right. Doing too much mousing around. Okay, so I think at this point we have a relatively decent rough cut that's going to be interesting to see doing the making of. I've got plenty of blah 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 stuff to get around, and like the little fine trimming I was doing just then and there. But one thing I haven't looked at, just for grins and snickers, is let's highlight this and come over here and see how far off it is color wise. Put the parade up. No, it's pretty well right on the money. Yeah, okay. All right, well, at least we could say we thought to check. There's some other stuff here that's a disaster, like the grocery store and whatnot. I don't know why that's there. Okay. Control B. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay. That makes more sense. Okay. So we didn't need to walk up on it, but what did it just get rid of if it didn't get rid of what I told it? Triple delete. All right, that makes more sense. Right.
Yep, buddy. I've recently just started drinking coffee black.
Okay, then we have our monologue. Okay, first pass end of video. Thanks for hanging in there with me. We'll see you in the from this side. We'll see you back on the making of here, where we ironically edit out my edits. Yeah. Okay. Well, maybe not ironically, but the fact that we're editing edits of another edited thing is confusing. All right. See you in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. We're still on week 9 here, and we are in the editing recap class here with our good friend Casey Ferris. We are in the second pass that he has called over here the refine the edit thing here. And let's just get to it here. There was a couple of housekeeping chores that we needed to start off with. I think he knew that I was going to mess around with his edit from yesterday, which I'm sure there's some things I missed out on or what have you. But he thought ahead enough to set one aside that he would like us to work from. So I'm going to do just that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make it a concerted effort to go through all of this here, very in order, in time, trying not to leave anything out because I think I'm just losing opportunities to practice editing with Resolve, and more importantly, editing with the keyboard. I can already edit okay, but so let's import the Save CJ course here. So let's go over and click on OBS, go into Work Files, go into Blog. Then Blog, there's two. If we change how we're seeing these, is this the view? More options. Optimize new folder. Here we go. If we come down here to a details list, you can see what kind of files these are. They are DRP files. That stands for DaVinci Resolve Project Files. And it's this one that he wants us to open, which is the second part of the second. It's the second part, the second pass here, put together just the way he likes it. So he's called that blog project. Let's go ahead and give that a double click. Uh-oh, now we're in trouble. We can come up here, click on one, say Control A to relink our files. We can come down here to the right click, come down here to the selected clips and say relink, and tell it where it's at. Remember, I keep everything in my OBS folder so that all of my videos that I'm filming here in front of you now drop to this folder. I can always see it, and all of my assets are in this folder as well. So there's no having to go hunting around for things. Okay, and blog, and we're just going to select that folder, and sure as shooting, everything comes back to life. All right, so there were some changes that he wanted to make here in our second pass, and I remember some of the things that I had done here. So I'm going to turn this down a bit. I'm not sure how it's coming through on the other side. I listened to it a little bit. It sounded okay, but I want to be able to talk while they're talking too. but I also needed some sound cues in order to hear what's been going on. I think the first thing here, see, I can't hear it.
But I need coffee beans.
Okay, I can kind of hear it. Okay, you hear the sigh when he came in here. So, what he has told us to do is when we hear something or see something that needs changed, we can pop on just put a marker on it, and you can label the marker if you got a big project too. So, for example, go up here, and there's some way to label it anyway. But anyway, we'll just leave it like that for now because there's lots of opportunities to go through this. What were we doing here? There seems like there was something we were supposed to do.
3 with no coffee beans, which I know is not the worst problem in the world, but when you get up early, you do creative stuff, this is day 3 with no coffee beans, which I know is not the worst problem in the world, but when you get up early, you do creative stuff, it's kind of part of the whole deal.
Okay, I remember that there was a insert that he wanted to do here, so we'll mark that. That was okay. Yeah, see, that was what I was confused on yesterday.
We did it. Coffee beans. Those aren't probably the very best coffee beans in the world, but they're pretty good, and they're at this store that's close to me.
Okay. I think we were supposed to make this part a little faster through here. Let's okay. Over here, continue to play on.
In the world, but they're pretty good, and they're at this store that's close to me. So that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing today.
Okay, so he wanted us to change that because he just repeated the same line twice there. So we'll put ourselves a reminder to fix that as well. Okay. What else? I'm trying to think here. I think he wanted to add some music to this. I think we're going to wind up adding music to the whole thing, but it was that marker, and I'm going to widen this out a little bit, and let's play on over here.
Which I'm pretty sure makes you an old person. Because I always remember my grandpa just drinking coffee black. Grandma and grandpa, they don't care. They don't care if there's creamer, they don't care what. They just want their coffee. Don't care what kind of coffee it is. It could be Folgers, it could be...
Okay, so he just fumbled his line here, and so we need to cut out that silence. Let's hear it out and see if there's anything else we need to deal with.
Mission accomplished.
And there is. We're going to swap a doodle those around, those two clips. And then this is just some B-roll that we're going to use somewhere else. So, okay, we got through this and remembered it here. Sometimes it's these long videos, it's tough to remember things, and I wind up having to go back and refer to the original video for a second and scrub through it. But I think we're in good shape for now. So let's come back here and have a look at what needs to be done here and how we're going to do it. Remember, sticking with the keyboard. Always. Okay, so
the times to go to the store.
Okay, I think that's a good place to get rid of that here, so we can simply, I believe, well, we don't want to do that. Let's just give it the old Control B, boom, roll back on it a little bit, and then say ripple delete up here in the key corner, and we're done. And then we got to come over here and we can highlight that guy and just hit delete, and he's gone. So because we've taken care of that part of the punch list, I need to come out a little bit. So what did we have over here? Oh yes, we were going to put that. Let's leave this here for now. Oh, I guess we can do it. Why not? It's easy enough done. This is going to be a insert here of this car drive here, and then for doing this, it's super easy. I just got to put my control head anywhere near it. Come up here and I highlight this in the media pool and the edit page, and then I come over here and I've got a key in the upper left hand corner named Smart Insert. Boom, done. That's all there is to it. Now, while we're at it, and we may as well sort this out while we're here, it's if we roll over this, we just see it's more driving. More drive. I want to hear this actually.
Do creative stuff, it's kind of part of the whole deal.
Okay, so I think if I recall right, we can hit Control and then the R, which stands for real-time controls. And or not. So let's right-click on this, come up here to real-time controls. That gives us our speed head here. We grab a corner of it, we roll it down to about that because we want to keep it nice and tight. Let's run over it, let's make sure that we're not overdoing it.
It's kind of part of the whole deal.
Let's look at that again. I'm going to turn the sound up just a touch.
Get up early, do creative stuff, it's kind of part of the whole deal.
I like the timing on that. So let's ripple delete that back together. That's simply, that's mousing it. There's another way to do that. We can say Control Z when we're here. On this, we have a key that says what? Ripple delete. We should be able to, nope, I guess not. When you're in this condition, you gotta highlight it and do that. Okay, so we got that taken care of, and we can come out of that mode now and come up here and take our marker out and move down the line and see what's next on the punch list here. Okay. Looking good, looking good. Now, he wanted to make this a little quicker through here. So we're going to need to hear it.
Beans. Those aren't probably the very best coffee beans in the world, but they're pretty good, and they're at this store that's close to me. So
Okay, as I was going back through and trying to figure things out, I realized that I had made a mistake and misunderstood what was there. A little confusing to try and bounce back and forth between three screens here. So this one, it was the psi here on this this guy here and not the psi here. So we need to come back over here. How to undo something, we can come back over here to trim edit mode. And I believe we can just hit the trim out key. Oops. All right, let's play that, see how it goes. Okay, so that's now correct. And over here, when we come into this, he wanted to get rid of, that's what that other marker was up there for. I thought it was this one. It's not. That is a good lesson for me to, if I'm confused and there's too much stuff going on, I should just put the instructions on my markers. Things we learn along the way, Miriam. Okay, so let's listen to this.
This is day 3.
So he wants to get rid of the sigh and it's been.
This is day 3. This is day 3. This is day.
Okay, so that's where the it's been.
This is day 3. This is.
So when we have so much noise in here from the back of the truck, this is some bad sound here.
This is day.
Let's just come right after this one here. We don't need to have anything highlighted, I believe. That takes care of that. Let's listen.
This is day.
Still not there.
This is day 3.
Still not there.
This is day 3 with.
And again, I'm just using the trim in key in trim mode here, so you can tell we're in trim mode by that being on. And that's also activated by the T key. Handily labeled trim. Okay, let's see if that works now.
4. This is day 3 with no coffee beans.
Just a little bit more, I think.
Pour. This is day 3 with no coffee beans.
Yeah, that's looking good. Okay, so I got to figure out, get down here. There is, in this one, something that he wanted to shorten and something that he wanted to get rid of. We've marked it down here, and this one is marked for shortening it somehow. So I got to go back and look and figure out what he wanted to do here real quick. I'll be right back. This could take a while. That's why I am pausing it. I don't want to just run it out. Okay, so what we're looking to do here, he liked this part where he taps on the copy beans. So about he comes in and he plops down. Okay, and let's put our first cut there. Control B. Make sure we're in the right mode here first. Control B. Then we're going to roll down here where right about here. Control B again. Roll back a touch. Let's look.
We did it. Coffee beans. Those aren't probably the very best coffee beans in the world, but they're pretty
But then there was a
good.
duplicated line down here on the
It's
end
close to me.
that we need to deal with.
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're doing today.
So he wanted to keep what we're doing today. So let's first go and get this off of our honeydew list. I think we can just see is. All right, so
That's what we're gonna. That's what we're. That's what we're.
Now, usually I can hear when I scrub back and forth, um, but OBS seems to bother that somehow. So I just kind of have to play along with it first.
That's what we're gonna do. That's what we're
So that's what we're going to do. Starts right about there. And so let's just roll this over here. That's what.
gonna do. That's what we're
Okay, let's put a break there. Then use our trim in. Uh, okay, so trim first, trim mode. Now,
That's what we're doing today.
that's not bad. Let's have another go.
So, that's what we're doing today.
So we had a little bit of a jump cut there, but he kind of went on to explain that jump cuts are you communicating to the audience that some time has elapsed here. So that was one of the storytelling things that he's keep mentioning here. And what else do we need to do here? So his is pretty long. This was marked for music that we'll take care of in a minute, but I'm going to trim that down. It's about the same speed as the other one, but I'm not fond of how long this is. Since we're in trim mode, let's trim it back a little bit, about the same as the other one. The whole speed ramp thing.
That's what we're doing today.
Can really wear you out.
I've recently,
And it's more effective, I think, as from a storytelling standpoint, if you show just a second or two of speed, because it gets you twice. It lets you know that a lot of time has elapsed here, but it isn't spending a lot of time telling you that. So that's one of the things that I'm fond of. And so that's that marker is there for music. I'll just leave it there for now. We are going to do that next time around. What else do we have? Here we had a pause.
care what. They just want their coffee. Don't care what kind of coffee it is. It could be Folgers. It could be.
So let's stop after Folgers.
Don't care what kind of coffee it is. It could be Folgers. It could be Folgers.
Okay, I think we're pretty right on the money there. So let's give it Control B right there. Boom. Where do we pick?
It could be. It could be 2 months old. It doesn't matter. Coffee's coffee.
Okay, so we see that we're going to go up to about here. So I think we'll just come here. Oops. Did I screw that up? Let's make sure that that's right. And just roll this in. We're hitting the trim in key, and it's simultaneously using our jog shuttle wheel. And let's go back and listen.
It could be Folgers. It could be 2 months old. It doesn't matter. Coffee's coffee.
All right, that's looking
Mission
pretty good.
accomplished.
Okay, so this other one up here was just about swap-a-doodling these two around. So there's that one. And I'm trying to remember, there was a slick way of doing this. You just have to highlight one of them. I want to say Control Shift, nudge right or nudge left, which is the greater than or less than keys. And that's all there is to that. Pretty easily done. Let's see if these are cut right real quick, just to he did mess around with them, but I'm kind of trying to make sure that I think that they're. He tends to tell too long of a story in my book. See, if you look at that one here, that could stand to be rolled back a touch.
Mission accomplished.
See again. Oops.
Mission accomplished.
That may have fit under the guise of maybe nitpicking a little bit, but I guess that's what that's all about. I like the nitpicking part of this. I really do. So let's go over our story here. We have the beginning where he's coming out here and it's abrupt. He gets in his truck that I had to fix, but we got that taken care of. We haven't added the music to it yet, so I'm leaving that up there now as just kind of things. And from here on out, I'm labeling my markers because I think that'll be better for my old brain down the road. So I think we're also going to come back over here and just click on that. I could have hit the A key and done that. And so let's split this and move this all the way up to the front. Now, we need to make some room to work. First off, let's get rid of the media pool. We don't need that. Let's scooch this up here. There we go. Sorry, I'm fiddling around with this. There we go. This is supposed to be on video too, is why that got away from me here. So sorry about that. Delete empty tracks. That'll give us some more working room. Let's slide this down a little bit. Sorry for the delay here. All right, so let's zoom in. Okay, first off, here's a neat trick. Let's hit our shuttle button. Okay, shuttle moves really fast. Jog moves really slow. Jog can move at 1 frame per little click here. Okay, so let's have a look at this and see what's going on. Maybe bring this back down a touch. Gotta leave enough room to see what's rendered and what's not. Okay, let's have a look.
It's really rainy, but I need coffee beans.
Okay, so we'd like to see more of the B-roll here, but we'd also like to fit it in. So we can say, even if nothing is selected down here, but we have clicked in and we're on our timeline, we can say Control A, and let's come in here kind of more finely and grab a hold of anywhere and scoot the whole thing down, supposedly, when we're in the. And let's just bring it over here to the 2-second mark. And then let's move this part of it up. And then let's kind of let's get over here and trim back, trim in. Here we can kind of adjust where we want to be with it. I think we want to be just right before he says something. Let's have a look.
It's really raining, but I need coffee.
Okay, so that's cool. That's a J cut for us. What's the other one down here? So one of the things he was looking for on this J cut was that we don't have any real sound from it until it happens here. So let's try and figure out how to get some of this sound over into here. And I think we can just come over here and simply got our jog shuttle. And we're pushing the trim in and expanding it a little bit. Now, let's see how it looks and sounds. We got the nice background
It's
of the
really
rain.
rainy, but I need coffee beans.
That's nice. What was the last thing he says is we can come down here and we can hit, well, we're actually up here. Let's hold our Alt key down and hit that. And now we have this one thing, one piece of sound here that doesn't have anything to it, just in the way here. So we can hit the delete key. That goes bye-bye. I think we can come back and say delete empty tracks again, just to make some more room for us in which to work. So I'd like to make these a little bit bigger, and so we can more clearly see what's happening. All right. Let's bring this down a touch. All right, look at all the space we got to work with now. That's nice. And I think that is going to cover our second pass. Here real quick, I want to just look at it here. Oh, that's the sound, and that's going to come in. I'm going to leave that for the next one here, and that's going to come in. So we had a little bit of housekeeping to take care of. So let's come up to the media pool and over to our timeline. So we see this, we have a blog first pass. That was as it came in. At the beginning of this, I should have created a blog second pass. It doesn't really matter. I could recreate that. But so what he liked us to do is to come down and duplicate a timeline, and then come over here and edit the name of the timeline and say, call this I guess we're not gonna, there we go. Second ND. There we go. So, and this is what we should be working in right now. So I've screwed this up. So this was the, weird. Very weird. Oh no, it's fine. So I would have to replace this. I screwed this up. I'm fine here with blog second pass. I'm good. Everything, all the changes have been done. If I was going to put a blog first pass in here, I would have to go in and re-change that. I screwed this up. This should have not been, this should have been the first thing I did instead of making all the changes, because all the changes are on the first pass. So that's too bad. I think that I can admit my mistake and move on from here. I'm not going to go through and try to unwind that reel. So that said, I think I'm going to leave it here for now. We got a good storyline. We've got some nice fine edits on this, and we should, while we're here, follow our own thing and make another duplicate timeline. Come up here and get ready and say, third pass, because that's where we're going to come back to and start there. And how can we tell we're starting there? Because we got the check in the window. All right, so when we come back here and do that, we are now all set, and my legacy of screwing up stops here. Okay, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Okay, so we're back at it here for the final pass or the third pass or whatever it is you want to call it here. And we are going to come over here first and foremost to the audio library. And he told us to go find a specific song and download it. And we do that with coming to your YouTube page. You can click on your videos, and then at the bottom of your videos, you'll find the studio, and then your library adds the thing in your library. Excuse me, I'm kind of stuttering here, but and then you can search for anything or page through anything, or you can look for things by their duration if you have a certain length of a video you want to do. But at any rate, so he said get the color of your face and download it. So that's exactly what I have done. Again, with the hiccups. And so here we are. Here's the color of your face. I've got the media pool open here and have brought that in. And now I'm going to bring that down to here. And we're going to slide back over to the edit page and see if we can find out. Oh, there we are. So let's make ourselves some working room here. Let's bring that up here. And make these a little bit smaller here so we can. There we go. Okay, so we'll grab the color of your face and drag it down in here to the bottom. And as you can see, we need some more room. Fortunately, we won't have to be doing too much with the monitor, so we'll small that up, cancel the media pool out, move this up here a touch. Okay, so where are we at with things? We first thing we need to do here, now that we've got some room to work here, is let's highlight this. Let's come up to our inspector. And this is another way, instead of grabbing the little handle here to turn up and down the volume, you highlight whatever it is you want to do anything within the inspector. This is just basic editing. We already know all this. And we're going to bring this down to around -18. Somewhere like that. There we go. Close enough. All right. And then we actually don't need this quite this big. But now. And now we can just come over here with our mouse over to the side here and roll this up. And let's roll the inspector back up here too. We want to do a thing at here at the end of this as well here. So this is all going to kind of coalesce here in a thing, in a thing. Can I say that one more time and still sound relatively serious or not? So let's first off listen to see what we got here.
It's really rainy, but I need coffee beans.
Okay, that's pretty cool. The set on these volumes we might think about doing a little highlight like this and seeing if the inspector will allow me to change a volume across the thing. It doesn't look like it. How can we do that? Well, there's another way of doing that. So you see how we all have tracks and everything here? We can come over to Fairlight. And that was the little musical key here. And so what we want to look at here is we play across.
Go to the store.
We can check our levels here and here, and we can see that we're way above
It's not the worst problem in the
-10.
world.
So we can come over here and we can grab that
Finally
track
do creative stuff.
and trim
Kind of
it down
part of
just
the
a
whole
touch.
Deal.
Yeah, buddy. We did it.
Coffee beans. Those aren't probably the very best coffee beans in the world, but they're pretty good, and they're at this store that's
So
close to me.
as far as track 2 here, which is the music
That's what we're
track,
doing today.
we can come over here and we can look at our levels here. We're
I
around
recently
20.
just started drinking coffee black.
And
which
the
I'm
other
pretty sure makes you an
acid
old
test is
person.
how does it sound? Whatever you
Because
think
I
it
always
sounds
remember
like,
my grandpa just drinking
trim it
coffee
back a
black.
couple
Grandma
of-
and grandpa, they don't care. They don't care if there's creamer. They don't care what. They just want their coffee. Don't care what kind of coffee it is. It could be Folger. It could be 2 months old. It doesn't matter.
it's hard to tell when he's in the truck and he's got all that other noise on it. But at any rate, that is a quick and easy way of taking care of an entire track in one fell swoop. Is there? Each track has a master volume on it right over there. You don't have to be a sound engineer to figure that one out here. So we can kind of look across the board and see. The other thing we're going to have to do is we want to come over here to Media Pool, and we want to come down here and put this in here at the kind of the tail end again. We're going to extend this track out and drop this track down in the inspector. Drop that volume track down to, let's call it 18 or 19. So we have, let's look at that and see what it looks like here.
Mission accomplished.
All right, let's cut that there. Get our trim going here. There's a lot of camera bounce on that. And then there. That's looking pretty nice. How many seconds do we have on that? Can we teach you another trick? Yes, we can. Let's click on A, come up here, look at the metadata. How long is this? Starts at 18:20, 42:22. So we are about 8 seconds here. Or thereabouts. Good enough for me, and the purpose of this is going to be to have somewhere to put our end cards on this. And so this 8-second period of time, I mean, let's double take this. So 29. So let's, whoops. So it's a little bit more than 8 seconds. So let's come to the end here and say trim out. You see on this counter here, on the top of that, where it's telling us exactly what that counter is going to be. So it's 10 seconds, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 frames, and there you have it. Same thing down here. It's going to tell you how long the music is, and we'll drop it right there at the end. And we're looking good. So here's the next thing in the line of what we got to do with the music is, you see this little guy up here in the corner? Let's bring that down, and that is a fade out. Another one of the things we can do with a fade out is, you see this little speed here. You know what? Let's bring our over the bead and zoom in on it. Maybe not quite so much. There we go. Let's see what's going on. Let's bring our cursor over that. Kind of touchy. And you see how you can move this back and forth. So this will stay higher volume for longer, then drop off all of a sudden. This will drop off kind of all of a sudden and then gradually go out is how you can change that around. That is the first thing we want to do. And then we want to come over here and we have these little guys to contend with. And let's just move this up a little bit so we can see what we're doing better. And then we'll change this back around here. I wish these moved easier, but okay, so this is the speed portion here. And we've already taken care of that. We can remove all the markers. So remember, this is the speed portion here. And what we wanted to be able to do is we wanted to have that sound come up a little bit. So there's a couple ways to do that. You could keyframe the sound on top of it. But the bummer about that is if you moved it around anywhere, then you would have to move all the keyframes individually, and that's just not Cricut. So what we want to kind of do is come over here and say, highlight the bottom music and say Control B there. Then move down to the next. And here's another trick. From here to here to here to here, that's just up and down arrow keys to move from transition to transition. So we're going to put another B there. Let's open this up a little bit and zoom in on him. And you can see here that we can bring this up to, let's call it 10. Let's just play it and see how it sounds.
That's what we're doing today. I've recently...
So we're quite a bit louder than... So we're at 0 dB, 18. Let's bring it here at 10. Let's see how that sounds.
That's what we're doing today. I've recently just started
that's
drinking
good.
coffee.
And so another thing we could do, let's zoom in just a tiny bit more so we can get a good feel for this here. On the inside, we have our little tabs to pull in to ease it in and out. Just so it's not so abrupt where you're listening to one thing and then boom, it's huge in your ear.
Today.
I think that could stand a little bit more.
I've recently just doing today. I've recently just...
Okay, so let's spin out and go do the other one over here. Scroll down to him. We're going to make this cut. Control B. Down arrow. Next one. Control B. Makes our cut. Let's move it in the middle here. And zoom in. And raise our volume just a touch. Would we do that before 10? Yeah, that sound. Okay, so when I looked at the meters over there in Fairlight, and then I listened to it here, it's deceptive because once this gets rendered, and you play it back on something else, and it sounds okay here, but the rule of thumb is somewhere between -8 and -12 peaking for dialogue, And for music that goes along with that, somewhere between -18 and -22. So those if you have them both going together, and then if you're just going to have some music that goes up a little bit like this, you're thinking maybe around the -10, -12 mark. So that's why I have set those like that, and why before I do close out there and call this a day, I will go back and check the levels out before I pump all this out uh, to rendering it. And remember that I'm going to have to go through and put all this stuff together. So I'll be checking everything along in there. I already screwed around and checked his lighting a little bit. He must be shooting with a really nice camera because it turned out pretty well. Okay, so next thing to do, we're going to pop out here and clink. And that's if we're looking at full thing here, the full timeline. We're going to twirl this stuff up. We're done with the sound pretty much. Then bring it down here because we got something special coming in here. It's time to do a title. And we can find all kinds of cool titles and stuff up here under effects. And we're going to start with titles. And if you see a plus next to something, or you see a star next to it, it means it's a favorite. If you see a plus next to it, there's a difference between just a regular title and a fusion title. A fusion title is something that's animated and can be really played around with. We're just going to come up here to plain old text to start off with and drag it down, put it on top there. Maybe twirl it over a little bit just so it looks right. And so how do we fix our text here? What do we want to say? So let's just bring that in the middle here and highlight it, come over to our inspector, and lo and behold, we get to say whatever we want to say, and there's lots of changes that can be made. So let's get rid of basic title and just say copy run in all caps. And it looks like we're typing pretty good today for a change. So here's another whole list of things that we can go down. And if you look up here on the screen, you can see what the fonts look like. And where was it? I like this guy here. And then I also like to put a little space between that and give it a little size. Whoops. These things are really touchy. I'm going to have to put my special mouse thing on too. Might even have to use the numbers. Let's put it on 150 and see how that goes. That's pretty nice. So another thing we can do here is with the reflections and that part of the water, it's washing our white lettering out. So let's do this. Let's go down to, let's go over to the position here, okay? Now, we're not going to animate anything. We're just going to place it here. So on the X, we're going to put it over on the right-hand side a little bit. And all I'm doing is I'm just putting my mouse cursor over that, and I was spinning it to the right. And now I'm going to put it over my Y lettering here, my Y axis. I'm going to spin that down just a touch. And I'm trying to stay clear of that white in the water so that you can really read our thing nicely. All right, so that's looking pretty good. What do we have left to do here? Let's zoom in on our thing here, and you'll notice that just like the sound, it has tabs up here. And so we can ease things in and ease them out here. So that looks pretty good. Maybe a little longer. longer in and shorter out's always been my thing. And yeah, that's looking pretty good. So let's do this. There's one other really special key here I got to turn you guys on to before I call it a day here. That's called the full view key, and it's just one key here, and you can do this in pretty much any of the editing tabs here. Not in Fusion, not in Color, and obviously not necessarily in that, but you can do that in either one of these here just to have a quick look and a close look at what's happening. So let's do this. Where our markers all the way at the beginning. Let's hit the full tab key. Boom. Let's hit the play bar.
It's really rainy,
Oh,
but
no.
I need coffee beans. All the times to go to the store, you have to pick in the middle of a torrential downpour. Day 3 with no coffee beans, which I know is not the worst problem in the world, but when you get up early, do creative stuff, it's kind of part of the whole deal.
I would have fixed the sound in the truck. That's terrible.
Yeah, buddy. We did it.
That was awkward too. If we go back there and look at that, where he was taking this off the shelf, that could have really been done nicely, where he put the camera on there, let the camera run for a second, just taking it off there and then put it in the bag and drove away, or tapped on it and drove away. I don't know, this whole fumbling around with that, I don't see it was really fixable. That way, if you recall, in the first pass, I was having trouble with that.
Coffee. Those aren't probably the very
That was
best
my fault.
coffee
It's
beans in
not
the
completely
world,
rendered
but
yet.
they're pretty good, and they're at this store that's close to me. So
He's
that's what we're
talking over the
doing today.
chimes in his truck. Something else that's easily
I've
fixed
recently
with
just started
Fairlight.
drinking coffee black, which I'm pretty sure makes you an old person. Because I always remember my grandpa just drinking coffee black. Grandma and grandpa, they don't care. They don't care if there's creamer. They don't care what. They just want their coffee. They don't care what kind of coffee it is. It can be full,
Okay, all this
2
said,
months old. It doesn't matter.
hopefully by
Coffee's
the time you guys see this done, I will have made the
coffee.
fixes
Mission accomplished.
that he hasn't suggested. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to tell you about them or not, but and that was our space for putting in the after, the YouTube cards at the end, which is part of the kind of must do thing. And he's done a good job on the must do thing here. The only thing we didn't talk about here was the actual assignment of the cards, and he didn't talk about a thumbnail. A good thumbnail and a good set of end cards really helps out with your viewership and your uh, overall time viewed, which is what our main goal for YouTube is. So that said, I think we got a successful chapter here of the first thing. So let me go back through here just real quick. Put that up. Yep, that's it for right now. Next is going to be the storytelling chapter, and we'll see you then. Thanks for watching very, very much. We'll see you soon. All right, here we're back here, faceless this time. We're just going to, I'm on a different computer. I'm on a Mac Studio, and I'm using this computer to show the kind of making of ish of the new ground control vlog lesson, first lesson, and editing review of things. So let's just get after it here. And I've spent a lot of time on this, and it's more than I should have for sure. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to come over here, call it Week 9 Vlog Lesson, creating in a new project. We need to come over here to the media pool, and where are we? week 9, right there, right here. You'll notice at the top, just like my other thing is set up, where all my good things happen in the OBS folder. So let's go here and we'll notice if we come over here and look at the metadata on all the stuff, it still is 30 frames a second. I thought I changed it on the OBS on the other computer. Apparently not, but I'll get it back down to 29.94 on the way out so that it can be considered an American video. That said, let's go over here and come down here. Changing. Selected clips have a different frame rate from the project. Would you like to change your timeline frame rate to match? No. My timeline project, I believe, is 29, what it's supposed to be. 20. Nope. 29.97. And save. It's going to tell me to change the frame rate. Change. Now we're cooking with gas. Okay, that helps a lot. So let's build these guys a timeline. Highlight, create new timeline using selected clips. Yes, please. Create. All right, we're off to the races. Okay, so over here, you need to come over here and check on this guy and make sure that we've are sorting out by clip name, meaning that 01 W9 intro. Here, let's whole thing. I guess we could twirl this up. 01, 02, 03, 04. Very good. So let's have a look. This one real quick, and we'll just go through and we'll take care of all the transitions. Everything else is pretty tight. What we're really going to be working on here and is the sound. If you guys look at the sound issues here, all the way across the board, we got some leveling to do here. And I did this on purpose because I want to show you. I was specially requested by my friend and mentor here to look at some leveling and how do we address some sound issues when asked to do a specifically required level. She says between 8 and negative 12 dB for peaking, negative 8, negative 12. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to set it peak of negative 10 right in the middle and see how that turns out. So let's get after it and start. Okay, so first off, got to hit the trim, get that in the right mode. Let's get this guy trimmed up. Pretty good. Put a bow tie on it. Move on. Okay. Same thing. The in done. Now we'll do the out. Put a bow tie on it. Same thing in. We'll give it a nice. Sure. Okay, so that said, I'm sure that there's some mistakes, things like that, editing problems throughout the course of the stuff while I was making this. I had initially planned to go through and nitpick it, but I didn't realize that I was 2 hours of video and just simply don't have the time. So what I thought I would show was the sound thing. And I went through and I looked at the color thing. Like I said, he shoots with a great camera. So I think we're just going to come over here to deliver. Let's come back here and keep looking at the thing here. Okay. So now look at everything. So let's go through and name everything out the way it's supposed to be. Paste. Log lesson pre-sound. Just so that we know the difference. Just so that we know the difference for renders there that are going to end on my desktop. Actually, you know what I should do? OBS folder. So it's a QuickTime, which is a little better than a M4 sometimes for this. Our frame rate is going to come to the 2997 like it's supposed to be. And we're going to head it over to the render queue, and we're going to get it rendering. Looks like it's got the right name on it and everything's in the right order. So I'm going to pause our little thingy bob here, and I'll be back as soon as this is finished rendering, and we'll reset things up, make a new timeline, and get it. All right, cool. See you in a bit. Okay, so we are up here and completed. And so let's jump back over here to the media storage. I have to, and let's put this here in the name of it. I don't know why. Let me name it correctly. All right, so there's that. Anyway, let's come up here. Oh, I see what. Got the one we need. So we're gonna bringing that down in the timeline. There we go. Okay, so we got to assign a new timeline to it. Think timeline 2. Started on that guy, and here we are. So here's the whole kit and caboodle, as it were. All 1 hour, 2 hours. Whoops. 1 hour, 39 minutes, 34 seconds, and 2 frames. And everything is all ready to go for our super duper experiment here. What we want to do is we listen to that here pretty loud. Live. All right, so there was some. Let's see where we're at here. Changes that he wanted to. Okay, so we're. Pass. I remember not peaking, but we're close. I've done. So I'm talk there. I also need. Yeah, so there's. Okay, so here's another. Okay, so what are we going to do here? We are all now in one big. We are all in one big file across here. This is all same file. And we're all edited up. And that's the beginning. We look over here. It's pretty right, but I showed you where everything was. I'm not explaining this very well, but so I'm just going to show you here. What we got to do is we got to come over to the effects. We got to go to the AU effects. We're going to come down here to our Crumple Pop suite of plugins. Okay. The wind remover, rustle remover, pop remover, echo remover, and audio denoiser are 5 of the most amazing tools I've ever seen. I use some of these tools to clean up my on in route microphone that I have mounted to my chin strap. I have just a little DJI microphone that records, very small, lasts forever. While I'm riding my motorcycle, and it separates air noise, wind noise, and motor noise, where I can put those things still in the background and still pretty nice, but you can still be able to hear my voice nicely. So you don't lose the effect of, oh yeah, I'm out riding around my coat at the sound of the background. I got the wind blowing through my hair, but you can still hear what I'm saying just about perfectly. So, and the most amazing one of the batch here is called the Crumple Pop Level-Matic. We grab that off of here, we come and drop it over on here, and it's going to take some time because this is a hour and 40-minute clip. So we got to give it some time to do its thing here. Got to give it some time to render out. So that said, when this is done over here, I'm going to set this over here on 10 when it's ready. And in the meantime, I'm going to just pause this, and we'll be back as soon as it's done rendering. Okay, so things are going along pretty well here. I think we got most of this analyzed. So let me just show you what's happening here. This is the Crumple Pop Level-Matic uh, sound leveler. So now that it's had a chance to go through and do most of its analyzation here, I've got it set for negative 11 dB. And the strength of it is at about 70 or so percent. And so let's take it for a little test drive here. So in the beginning here, we can see that we were pretty small. And so let's have a listen and watch our level meter over here, upper left-hand side. So between 10 and 12 is where I have it set now. So it's like right at 11. And that looks like to me right exactly where it's peaking on that side. So let's stop that, and let's move it over here to where it gets really fuzzy, and have a look. So I still have the same setting of about negative 11 dB, and we're pretty well, we're a little over it, but it's dealing with some peaking here too that was happening. And the only thing, I find if I put it anywhere much over 70, 75%, and there is a sound mistake, then what happens is starts sounded really stuffed up like this, and there's some payment to be made for not getting your sound correct. So I'm going to let this finish out and hit pause again, and just make sure I'm going to go through everything and make sure that we're on the same page here. there is and if you come up here to the inspector, as in all good things, we highlight that. We come over here to the inspector. We can come and look at the effects and turn crumple pop level-matic on or off, or it has an analyzing power and speed that you set out, the better. Tends about where we need to be here as that goes. I'm basically taking the standard settings that they gave you when they bought the stuff. I've never tried it on a file this big, and I got to tell you, I'm kind of over the moon at how well. So that said, I'm not easily. And continue on with our little. I want to find an area where I've really peaked out right here. That sounds. That was peaking. Then we come over here where it's just barely gone. Or it just needs a second to kill. Big fog. I wonder if I just wasn't saying anything. There we go. And here's some really low. Yes, I can see. Really. So 11 dB, hitting a little bit lower, right about there. I got to tell you, I'm pretty happy with it, and I'm going to go ahead and render this out. I have checked everything else, and I don't know what to tell anybody about anything else here. Kind of over the moon about. Anything, level-matic, level-o-matic. Gotta love it. All right, well, thanks a lot, guys. I will see you in the next one, and I think we're going to be talking about storytelling that time. I appreciate you watching. I appreciate your patience, and I hope that I have addressed all of your concerns in a good way. Thank you very much.